And Sadia, to start.
Hi, my name is Sahar. My name is Sadia. We go to George Downey Elementary School. We are grade 6-7 combined classroom in 3rd BC. We are looking forward to talking to you guys. And our Twitter is @McDClassroom.
Sweet, we're gonna have to check out your Twitter stream.
I just did a Twitter.
Okay, so who's first up?
Eric.
Eric, let's
Go away.
Sorry, we're lined up here. Go for it, Eric.
Why did you start a Kiva club?
Yeah, it's a great question. Anybody want to answer why you like to be in Kiva? I can tell them why we started it, but any of you guys want to answer why you like to be in Kiva? All right, I'm gonna let Aaron start by answering why he likes to be in Kiva, and then I can tell you why we chose to start a club.
I like being in Kiva because we can make a difference in other people's lives.
And it's kind of cool, isn't it? Can you remember a loan that you made that was really important to you?
I remember I made a loan to this lady who had multiple kids, and she needed money to for her kids to go to school. And it was really special because she was all alone and she needed to help get money for her kids to go to school.
Cool. What country was she in? Do you remember? No? Yeah. I think we started our Kiva club. I'll get to stick my head in the screen a little bit. We started our Kiva club just because we were looking for a way to make a difference in the world beyond just, Cary, North Carolina. Our school's in a town called Apex, which is just outside of Raleigh. And it was kind of cool to think that just kids could make a difference in the world. And I think we want that it didn't matter how old you were, you could be important in someone else's life. And so I think that's where the club started. And I think the kids all have different reasons why they like it so much.
Okay. All right, Eric, thank you. Okay, next person up. I think this one's been answered, but ask it.
I didn't know. I can't see it.
Okay, cool. Does somebody else want to tackle that one? Why is Kiva important to you? I like what Aaron answered. Okay, Jesse, you want to give this a whirl? All right, so this is Jessie, and she'll tell you why Kiva is important to her.
Well, Kiva's very important to me because with Kiva, I know that I can help somebody, and without Kiva, I feel empty because I don't have a way to help other people. And it's an easy way to make sure that people have needs and aren't in need. And so you get to actually make a difference in the world today.
Now, you said something cool, Jesse. You said that it's an easy way to make a difference. On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being incredibly hard and 1 being incredibly easy, how hard is it to be a Kiva lender?
Probably just a 1.
Probably a 1, right? It's super simple to do, isn't it? Yeah. It's one of the things we love about Kiva is that, making loans is simple. I mean, we make loans with 1 click of a mouse. And so to think that you can help people in other countries with 1 click is pretty cool. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Yep, we're good. Okay, who's after Sadia? Ethan, get ready. Sorry.
Does it matter to you what country you choose and why?
Okay, cool. Anybody want to tackle that? Do you choose loans by country, or what do you think about when you choose a loan? Okay, I'll let Callie answer that. This is Callie.
We definitely do not do the United States because none of us are as poor as people in Africa or anywhere where jobs are really hard to get and people who are taking care of their kids all on their own and they don't get paid a lot here.
That's a great answer. We made a decision in our Kiva Club to never make a loan in the United States because no matter how poor we are, there are people in the world that are way poorer than anyone in the U.S. So that's kind of a decision that our club has made. Sierra, do you want to add on to that? How do you choose? Do you think about countries when you make a loan? And if so, how?
Okay, so sometimes when I'm making a loan, I will look at the country, because going to what Callie said, I never loaned to the United States, but I like to go to Africa because they seem to be at least with less money. But I don't only choose because of the country. I choose because of the person's story and why they need the money.
Yeah, that's a good answer too. We oftentimes spend more time paying attention to the person than the country. One thing these guys didn't say is that our club likes to have loans to as many countries in the world as possible. And right now we've got 56 different countries on our lending map. And so sometimes we'll pick out countries based on where we haven't made a loan before, just to add more countries to our map.
Can we see your lending map?
I don't know that I can share it with you. Maybe, you know what I'll do? I'll grab a screen grab of it later and then email it to you. How about that?
Sounds great.
Why is the wealth of the country important for you when lending loans?
Why is the wealth of the country important to you? Anybody want to tackle that? Okay, Katie, you want to try it out? So this is Katie.
Because if they are poor on the streets, then it's easier for them to get a job that's a good job. And if it's a bad job, even if they have a job, they're not going to get very much money from it. If they have kids, they're not going to be able to pay for them very well. So that's why we look at the wealth of the country too.
Okay, anybody else want to add on to that? Why is the wealth of the country important, Caitlin?
Well, Mr. Ferriter told us that some countries only get paid $500 a year. And that's that's barely anything that some people, that the poorest people in America get paid, or the United States, right?
So what is that called? When we look up in Kiva, we're looking at it's called GDP. Do you remember what that's called, the last part of it? No? There's a statistic you can find in Kiva that's called GDP per capita, or it's called annual income. And what that means is, what does the average person in that country make in a year? And really and truly, Caitlin's right. There are countries in the world where people in an entire year make $500. Now, I always give the kids comparisons. Me as a teacher, I make about $700 a day. So I make more in a day as a teacher than people in another country make an entire year. So we pay attention to the wealth of the country just because, one, it makes us realize how lucky we are. And two, it helps us to figure out which countries need us the most.
Okay.
I hope that helped you.
Yep, that was wonderful. Yeah. Okay, Ethan, you're next. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, do you guys know the answer to that? Why do we pick? Why do we look at man or woman or group when we're making a loan? This is Brendan. I'll let him start.
Well, we usually choose women over men because men it's kind of like easier for them to get a job or something, and women, they're kind of like alone. And we also like to look at women with children because we want to make the children's life happy.
Okay. Brendan's right. In some countries, it's easier for a man to get help than it is for a woman to get help. Okay. Does anybody know another reason why women is a choice that we make? Katie, do you want to tackle that?
Men also tend to travel to other places, and with women, they can help their community grow better and wealthier.
Yeah. It's not unusual for a man to move to another country to find a better job for his family. Like, even here in the United States, we see lots of single men who move here, and they get a job and they send money back to their homes. Whereas women will stay in their communities for longer. So if you want to actually help the community, you make a loan to a woman because she's more likely to stay there. That make sense?
Yep. Okay, so next up. Make sure you remember to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kiva. My question is, where did you come up with the idea to buy money?
I think I should probably tackle that only because it was kind of my idea. I actually found out about Kiva online through Twitter. So, you guys have your Twitter account. I was on Twitter one Christmas morning, and somebody that I found on Twitter said, hey, here's a really cool idea. Let's make a difference. And everyone make a loan today through Kiva. And when I saw it, I was like, well, that's kind of cool. And I wanted to make a difference too. So I made a personal loan through Kiva. And then I brought it back to my students in my class and I said, hey, is this something you want to do too? And they all agreed. And so we've been Kiva lending ever since. I think we've been Kiva lending for 5 years. So these guys, it's just their first year Kiva lending, but our school's been doing it for 5 years. So really, it came through Twitter. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Isabel? That's just our bell. We're going over our recess break here.
That's a bell.
It was lunch after recess.
Why does the purpose of the loan matter to you?
Okay, so purpose of the loan for you guys to know is if the person is going to build a house, or if the person is going to go to school, or if the person is going to open a bar, or if the person is going to buy a cow. That's the purpose of the loan. Do you pay attention to that when you loan? Or what do you look for, or what do you not look for when it comes to the purpose of the loan? I'll let Aaron start us off.
I usually am looking for people who are trying to buy food or education or something like that. There's a bunch of people in Kiva who are like trying to buy motorcycles when they're in a small town. And I think it's more important to buy for people to get food and help them with their jobs than them like riding a motorcycle to the job or whatever.
Okay, does somebody else have a different answer to that question? What do you look for when you think about purpose? This is Caitlin.
I look for someone like who's using it for a job or something to help the community, because then they can normally pay it back to help, pay it back, because you always want to make sure that you have enough money to do another loan for someone else.
Yeah, that's cool. So she's looking for people who she's confident will be able to pay us back. And this is Sierra. Sierra, how do you make your choices?
So I make my choices by something that they need to survive, instead of, like Aaron said, getting something that they want. I do something that they need to survive.
Yeah, so one of the things I hope you heard there is that my kids, when they make loans, they have different priorities. So some kids like to look for people who are going to college. Some people like to look for people who they're sure will pay us back. Some people like to look for people who have needs instead of wants. And in our Kiva Club, that's kind of how it goes. The kids work together in partners when they make their loans, and the group chooses what they want to make their loan for. I personally, I like to help people who want to buy animals, because I think it's cool to help people buy animals. So like the very first loan I ever made was to a woman who wanted to buy a cow. And so now I like to help people buy animals, just because I think it's cool.
You tell them about it. You tell them about it. You gotta tell them about it. Tell them what the cow.
We have a little theme in our classroom. I don't know.
Nice.
We have a bunch of them.
We wouldn't help you buy a stuffed cow, that's for sure. But if you wanted to buy a cow so that you could open a milk business, we might help you.
Cow milk.
Hi,
On the
my
phone.
name's Brandon.
Okay, no, we can't hear him.
Why did you decide to make a Kiva Club?
That's the
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, we had that question earlier. I think the reason that we have our Kiva Club is because we just like the idea of making a difference in the world. Like, it's cool to think that what are you guys, 11?
Yeah.
It's cool to think that we're 11 years old and that we're helping people all over the world. I mean, that just is neat. It just makes us feel good to know that even though we're young, we can still be important.
Okay, Brandon Abdullah. Okay.
Hi, my name is Abdullah. And how did you guys start advertising?
So I think this is a neat question. I hope they'll be able to answer it because they're sort of new to our club. But what do we do to raise money? Or what are some of the things that we want to do to raise money? These guys haven't actually been a part of our fundraiser yet because we do it in the spring. But I think they know how we do it. Okay, Jesse, do you want to try it out? What are some of the things that we do to raise money and advertise our work?
Well, we have a fundraiser in the spring, like he said, and what we do is we have like raffle tickets that we sell, and we raise money for that and the raffle. I don't know what it's for.
Yeah, does anybody know what we raffle? Because we've talked about it a couple times. Katie, what is our raffle for every year?
Like some electronic device, like maybe a Kindle Fire or an iPad or something like that.
Yeah, we figured that we're in a middle school, and most of our kids, are really into technology. So we do one fundraiser a year, and we raffle off like last year was a Kindle Fire. We've raffled off iPads before. We've raffled off iPods. We've raffled off netbook computers. So we just do one raffle a year and raise money and put it into our Kiva account that way.
Okay.
By the way, we've got about 3